This clip is from The Buckle Bomb Show. New episodes drop every Sunday at youtube.com/Bomb Media Productions. The Hall of Fame. We're getting The Undertaker, and we're also getting Vader being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022. I'm sure there'll be more names mentioned. And you brought to my attention there's some scuttlebutt on the internet. I couldn't find anything. It's certainly not official about Shad Gaspar having some sort of honor there, possibly the Warrior Award, maybe. But we'll see what happens there. Your thoughts on Undertaker and Vader? Vader posthumously, maybe it should have been a little earlier, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Your thoughts?
My thought is, as far as Undertaker, this man has dedicated 30 years of his career to one company. Just one company. Like, never left to do a little run in WCW. So to me,
well, once he got there, yeah. Like, obviously he started, I believe, in Memphis, and then moved on to WCW, meet Mark Callis, and then from there, when he was told, I believe, by Ole Anderson, you're never going to make a dime in wrestling, he went to the WWF, and, they created this, what should have been a terrible gimmick, very, very old school WWF, and he made it something that lasted for 30 years. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And you're right. Even on the Pat McAfee show with Vince McMahon, they talked about that and Taker, and that Vince, of all people, is going to be the one to induct him, which you don't see Vince very often on the Hall of Fame or even get talked about. He doesn't like the praise. He doesn't like the pat in the back. He said on the show. You always hear them talk about that, but he's going to be going after himself to give the praise to Taker. Yeah, like you said, that was about the loyalty, I think. And certainly, if he had gone to WCW during the height of the Monday Night War, he wouldn't have been able to be wouldn't have been able to be Undertaker. But, you could have done something. I don't know if you would bring him as Mark Callis either, but you would have done something similar. But, he would never have been as big as he was staying in the WWF. We saw how
Absolutely.
some huge stars, like Bret Hart, got treated in WCW. And I'm sure he saw that too. It's like, why would I want to go there? I'll stay here.
I think the other thing that you have to look into with Undertaker being inducted this year, and it's something I kind of dislike about the 2K games, because I think they get a little bit of that Iggy on what's going on with the Hall of Fame. Is usually that year's headliner is the pre-order DLC bonuses. You had Goldberg a few years back. You had Sting. Now this year it was 3 different versions of The Undertaker, and I think it was like a week later they announced The Undertaker was going to headline the Hall of Fame this year. Mm-hmm. So I hated that little spoiler there, but well deserved for a hell of a career.
Yeah. And so Undertaker, and Vader. What a career that guy had. People might remember him from his WWF run, a short run on Raw in '97, and maybe late '96 with Cornette, and of course that big splash on Gorilla Monsoon that was huge. But of course, his big Van Vader run with WCW and winning the WCW title, a lot of people don't realize how big a star he was in Japan. Huge in Japan. And, certainly, and his match, his run with Mick Foley, with Cactus Jack was a fantastic run. That's how, I think it was in Japan. I think it was a match in Japan, wasn't it, where Foley's ear got taken off, but that was against... They got
caught in the ropes and he had to pull himself out.
Yeah. A spot he'd done 100 times, but this one the ropes were a little too tight. And he actually got stuck and was nearly hung himself in the ropes. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic news for both of them. I wish Leon were still alive, Vader was still alive. He certainly was taken a little too young, and this induction might be a little too late, but at least he's getting in. And it's well deserved for both of them, obviously.